Hey, what is up guys? I'm KBHD here and welcome back to Techtober. Good to be with you again. We're not even halfway through this month. So today is the reveal of the Huawei MATE20 Pro. Not to be confused with the P20 Pro, but the successor to the Mate 10 Pro, which is the best they have for now until the P30 Pro comes out. Either way, don't worry about all that. This is the best that Huawei's got right now. I apologize in advance for what may be the worst lighting of any press room I've ever been in, but boom, there it is. This is Huawei's newest creation. Oh, and also, real quick, shameless plug, if you guys are interested in this shirt that I'm wearing right now, the Optical Flow, aka Joy Division inspired, wavy line, 3D imprint looking trippy shirt, it is live in the merch store right now. We're doing a little quick 7-day drop from now till the end of the week in honor of hitting 7 million subscribers on the channel very recently. Shout out to all you guys for sticking around for that. So if you want to pick one of these up or you saw something that you liked before, it is available. And that is it. Link is down below. All right, moving on to the phone. So Huawei has made a pretty interesting design update to this Mate flagship. It's feeling like a 2018 notched bezel-less screen on the front, and then a triple camera module with a big flash now in the middle of the back. It's different, and maybe it's just me overanalyzing the design as Huawei kind of still tries to establish their flagship DNA and their identity, but this is definitely the most Samsung feeling phone they've ever made. Like if the Galaxy S9 and the P20 Pro had a baby, especially with this twilight triple camera look, this is probably what it would look like. So the curved glass and the overall shape on the front is very reminiscent of Samsung with the very thin metal sides. It's IP68 certified, there's wireless charging, very small chin at the bottom, and extremely tiny side bezels. But the notch is still up here like the P20 Pro with all the front-facing depth sensors for face unlocking. But then the Mate 20 Pro also now has an in-glass fingerprint reader, beating OnePlus to the punch technically, and I'd say becoming the first major big-name smartphone to do this. Not that being first by a couple days or weeks is a huge deal, but that's definitely awesome to see it happening so fast. This is a small sensor under the glass, you know, one finger right in the lower middle, like we're gonna start to see. But if we start doing this more and more and it develops and gets better, this is how we end up with bigger, less expensive, huge fingerprint sensors under the glass that are faster. So this is an early generation of that. And the screen itself is really nice. It's a huge 6.4-inch OLED, a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, a 2K resolution, so a little taller than normal. And any flickering you may see, again, the lighting in here is garbage and it doesn't actually flicker like this to the naked eye in real life, but it's a pretty bright, great looking screen on first impression that's, again, curved on the corners and bleeding over the slopes of the edges. And moving on to the sides, you get a colored power button, which I love to see. This Twilight version has a reddish orange power button, which I like that a lot. And I'm not usually a bright colored phone type of guy, but I would rock this for sure. USB-C at the bottom, no headphone jack, and then around the back is definitely the most iconic part of this phone's look, the big triple camera centered module with a huge flash in there, and the Leica branding up top. Now, a lot of you may remember the P20 Pro in this twilight color already had a triple camera setup on the back, but that was this weird regular camera, then telephoto, then monochrome camera setup. This Mate 20 Pro is much more on the useful end, just like the V40 with 3 different focal lengths, a normal lens, a super wide angle, and a telephoto. The standard camera is a huge 40 megapixel sensor with an f1.8 aperture. The telephoto is an 8 megapixel camera at f2.4, and the ultra wide is 20 megapixels at f2.2. So we'll have to get it in hand in the studio and actually take pictures and videos with it to see how good it is. But if it's anything like their previous phone, it'll probably absolutely crush the XO mark and make headlines, and you'll have to decide how much to care about that. But one big point they've made about it is how much they're leaning on AI to not just make the camera better, but to make the whole phone better too. AI will help with scene recognition again with Master AI 2.0 to help recognize more things in the camera more accurately and tweak your photos based on what you're taking a picture of. But then also this phone has a Kirin 980 chipset, which is a 7nm chip, and a 4,200 milliamp hour battery, which is absolutely massive, but it will also use AI to help manage your apps and help you get an even longer battery life. Apparently AI will also look at the scene you're pointing at with the camera and actually switch you automatically to the wide angle camera if it thinks you'll need it, which I'll be honest, I don't think I'm a fan of that. I kind of like a little more manual control on the camera, but some people may be into that. But none of this is the coolest feature of this phone. I did save the best for last. The coolest feature of the Huawei Mate 20 Pro is something called reverse wireless charging. And it's exactly what it sounds like. So you know how this phone and many others can charge the battery wirelessly through the glass back? Well, Mate 20 Pro has a setting you can turn on that will turn it into a mobile battery bank that you can wirelessly charge up other phones with, or whatever you want. It's Qi powered. So you just turn it on in the settings, and I had my iPhone there as I was making this video, so you just rest something on the back of the Huawei and it does start wireless charging the iPhone. So this is great. You can be that guy to actually literally offer to wirelessly charge someone else's phone. Oh, what's that? You're at 10%? I got a 4,200 milliamp hour battery. I feel like I'll just let you mooch a little bit. You can wirelessly charge. That's cool. In fact, you don't even have to be physically touching. Wireless charging works through a case, works through a skin, and works even if you just hover the phones a centimeter apart. Man, the trolling opportunities here, or the helping opportunities, are gonna be huge. But anyway, that's pretty much the main gist of the Mate 20 Pro. I actually think this Mate 20 that's gonna be launching at the same time, the non-Pro, is a physically better looking phone on the outside. It's lacking all those facial unlock sensors, but it also means it loses that big notch, and it just has this dewdrop notch, as they call it, in the middle that's being used by a lot of companies now. But it's also clearly a step lower in a couple other ways. It's bigger, but has a lower resolution 1080p LCD, not an OLED, and a slightly smaller 4,000 milliamp hour battery. But it's just funny how the lower end phone kind of seems a little more visually appealing if you truly hate the notch. Overall, as a buy though, I don't think Mate 20 Pro is going to be like that critical phone that everyone's paying attention to that you necessarily have to buy. It feels a lot like they're throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and hoping a lot of it sticks. Like the standout of that for me was having a big cutout notch at the top of the screen for Face ID, essentially, when a lot of people don't like notches, and then also spending the money on an under-glass fingerprint reader when pretty much everyone using the phone will have to pick one or the other and not use both. Seems like you're going a little bit like spending extra here. And I get that having the option is great, but it felt like they should probably commit to one or the other. In fact, I'm pretty sure OnePlus is gonna commit to just the fingerprint reader and not even make a big deal about still having facial recognition with RGB sensors. And then on the software front, EMUI 9.0, it has a lot of small improvements, like in the settings and in the stock apps, but it's generally still EMUI. So if you didn't like it before, this isn't gonna change your mind. But if you did like the old one, then this is a little better. So basically for me, I think I'm gonna be waiting for that P30 Pro when it comes out to be their next high-end flagship to test it out. I'm assuming the camera's gonna be great and I'm gonna give it a shot. But let me know what you guys think of this phone. You think it's gonna hold up? You think I should have it in the camera comparison along with the other high-end flagships? There's a lot of stuff we wonder about Mate 20 Pro. Either way, until the next one, thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace.